Welcome to Dance to Heal. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how dance and movement can bring healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that movement was vital to my recovery. I created Dance to Heal Wellness and also authored the best-selling book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new techniques to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. Welcome to Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Jenny C. Cohen. I'm going to read to you today's horoscope on boundaries because we do this yearly calendar that has learning boundaries and setting boundaries and how important boundaries are. Today's date. This is what's for July 9th. Maturity isn't based on age. It's based on life experiences, a willingness to learn and apply, and cognitive ability. When you stop expecting people to know better because they are a certain age, you will meet people where they are. So real talk. I am queen of meeting people where they are. And I've learned in my golden age of almost 57, that doesn't mean that I'm a walking doormat. If someone doesn't know where they are, I still need to know where I start, where I end. This has been a lifelong journey and lesson. When you grow up in a society that doesn't value you for being a female, it just the way it was, right? And I'm going to drop the mask for a second. When you grow up, even if it's a short period of time, because I immigrated to the States when I was 6. No, I'm sorry, 5, almost 5, around 5, because I got thrown right into first grade. Even though I wasn't 6, I would turn 6 the following summer. Those years before, when I was in utero, even generationally before me, when women are valued for childbearing or running the house, given very little power, you grow up not realizing you have a right to boundaries, to saying no, right? It's actually was ingrained in me to meet people where they were at. Now, there's a fine line between knowing where people are at and then knowing what you're willing to put up with. Let me clarify, meeting where someone was at and what you're willing to put up with. What are you deserving of to even begin with before that? What does that mean? I, you, we are worthy of the birthright of being seen, held, loved. That's a birthright every one of us has. Unfortunately, or the reality of it is not a lot of us have that at birth, whether it's because our families are too poor to provide that on a consistent basis, or other reasons where our parents that we have chosen to help us grow in the lifetime. Whatever the settings were, right? Many of us either didn't know how to set boundaries or we would set boundaries in quite destructive ways. And what I've been noticing in my growth as I am an elder in training is in order for me to meet someone where they're at without losing me, I need to know what do I need and where am I meeting myself at? Where are you meeting yourself at? Okay? Because you're really the only person who has the answers. Since before the panini, when I started dabbling in going into business for myself, because prior to that, I was full-time mom, homeschooling, coaching, some part-time jobs along the way with teaching. When I started to go into coaching, I didn't even know where I was at. So I was very subject to the bling. You know those personality types? I was always the I, the bling. Bling would distract me because no one was willing or I couldn't hear the truth, or people were banking on, oh, she just wants it easy, so I'm going to promise her it's easy, or quick fix, I'll have all the answers. And I jumped into that, not realizing that it was actually lies. How many of us have stepped into situations thinking they're going to have the answers? They can help me. And realizing, oh no, either we didn't know the rules of the game, or they hoped we didn't know, or didn't realize we didn't know the rules of the game. Okay? So the bottom line is, oftentimes, if I'm on a call with someone and they're deciding whether or not to work with me, there's a whole school about what they call sales, or what I've been taught by other mentors or coaches as structured conversations, right? I will always ultimately have someone ask a question. Is it in your best interest to work with me today? And if their body says yes, we make it happen. If you're on a call and your body said no, not at this time, I would be like, all right, let's set you up. Do you need anything else from me? And the answer is yes. We'll make sure you have something of value before we end the call. And if it's no, we don't need anything and we're done with the call, then it's all right, great. That's that boundary. I need to know that you are good with the answer because I'm good with the answer. Yes? How many of us are giving that permission though? Most of the time, sales are coached around or presented, oh, limited time offer. You don't want to miss out. Fear of missing out. There's limited time. I only have 3 spots, right? And the reality is, oftentimes we say that, or we're coached to say that because we want to give someone that scarcity feeling, right? And honestly, there are some coaches who really mean what they say. They only have 3 spots, and once it's gone, right? They won't make any more. I want coaches like that. I want people like that who are going to say what they mean and mean what they say, right? But oftentimes, if you don't even know where you're at, how do you attract those people to you, right? One of the things has been really helpful for me in being able to know what I need and what I don't need is to acknowledge that in the calendar year, whatever month it is, this is the month of July, my birthday month, which is fraught with these mixed feelings of my birth, and I celebrate it wholly now. It's also the anniversary of when I was diagnosed officially with breast cancer, and then the subsequent preparing for it, and then the beginning of chemo at the end of this month, chemotherapy, where I really honestly did not read anything about it. I walked in not having any idea what the side effects were. I knew in a way back then that if I did too much research, I would not go, right? I was relieved. I took the hit for the family because I didn't need another shoe to drop for another member of the family. The month before I had the diagnosis, my husband had a very, very severe surgery that came out of the blue. And then 4 years before that, my son had type 1 diabetes, where I hadn't slept in 4 years, thinking he was going to die in his sleep, type 1 at like 10. So around that time, I was really, really relieved nothing else happened to anybody. I was really tired of the hospital, y'all. And so when I found that lump and then happened to have a physical, and I went to that physical, and the doctor said, if you were my wife, I would just send you to the oncologist right now. And said he sent me to get a mammogram and to compare it against when I had done 10 years before. I was only in my 40s. That's very young to get breast cancer. Okay. The idea around all that is that was the year 2014. We are now in 2025, or even later when you come to this recording. Back then, I had no idea where I began and where I ended. I would completely envelop people all around me and I'd be unable to say no. Everyone else existed in their right to be loved, seen, provided, but me. I always came last. That was the belief system I had shifted most of my life towards. Once I went into the cancer treatment, which I had no idea would really literally almost kill me, right, to get me to heal. And I came back out of that phase. You get real chemo brain, folks. They can't separate where the chemo goes. So the chemotherapy just goes throughout your body, including your brain. Okay. So once that started to, that's another conversation. I just want to give you kind of where we were at. And then once I started to come back from all of that, it's been eye-opening how much I had given away of myself, not just to my friends and my original family, but also to my husband and my two beloved children, who are now young adults, wonderful young adults. I wasn't even role modeling how they could be embodying that in their relationships and who they stood for or who they were in this world and what they stood for, right? So you, are you role modeling that for the people you love and care for in your life? Because people are watching you very carefully. And I'm going to remind you, whether or not you see yourself, the people around you see you. And part of the work of being able to have a better idea of where you begin and where you end is to trust in your body. That gut instinct, hairs in the back of your neck, when you suddenly catch a breath and stop, and or something goes, nah, something's up. I need to explore this more. Pay attention to those. Now, the caveat is if you're hangry, please don't do that. Right? Like if I'm really hungry and angry, I tend to want to punch a wall. I have broken this hand before doing that. Okay. That's not the time to pay attention to my gut instinct because I'm not really in my body and I'm very angry. Yeah. So when you are well rested, hydrated, not hungry, and you've done steps like tuning into your five senses, doing box breath, which is inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, or just paying attention to your five senses and just breathing normally. Okay. That's when you go, oh, does my gut have anything to tell me about the situation? Do I feel like I could trust this person? Really pay attention to how your body, not your mind, thinks it should. How does your body react to that situation or that person or that question? I bet you it's going to tell you a truth that you may not want to see or you weren't willing to see or ready to see. And you need to be really clear. For example, I've had coaches in the past that I thought were working in my best interest, and God love them, they weren't. They just weren't. And that's okay. At first, the answer was yes. Yes, they're a great coach for you. And then I would be like, well, why are they not a good coach now? Because they made their choices, right? You can't control someone just because you choose to follow them. Which direction they're going to choose to go, how they're going to behave in certain situations. That's the key for you. You have a choice too. Me, in the past, not now, in the past, I would stay out of loyalty. Well, I chose this person. And now, as I've learned my lessons, it's been, oh, well, they've made their choices too. And now they're not a good fit. And now it's time to choose another direction that does not go with them. And that's okay, right? In friendships, jobs, groups, memberships, at what point does your gut go, this isn't the direction I want to go in? Are you paying attention? Why? Why is that important? Because when you don't pay attention, there's going to be a friction in your body. And when there's a friction in your body, guess what? Things will drop through the net. That's when things, especially long term, that's when things, immune stressors will show up. Your risks for diseases. In my case, I can only speak for me. I cannot speak for you. However, there have been correlations with other people have said the same things to me who are also cancer survivors. For me, when I had my cancer, it was already after. First of all, a lifetime of denying I had any type of like trauma. Oh no, I was Miss Goody Two Shoes. I see everything with rose-colored lenses. I had nothing wrong with my family. Okay. Two, that point where I explained to you with my husband and my son, and I didn't realize that those were the little needles that broke the camel's back. I didn't know that, hey, that's a tiny little thing. I was already under so much duress. I did not realize I was already at my breaking point because I was so used to it. That when those two pretty major things in other people's lives, when they dropped, my immune system went kaput. There are too many balls up in the air, folks. I want you not to have so many balls to juggle so that your life is easy. My life is easy now. I know very quickly when I pay attention to my body, I know really quickly whether this is for me, that's not for me, this is for me, this was for me, this is no longer for me. Does that make sense? All right. Dance to Heal podcast. Is this for me? Yes, I'm doing a um muscle test right now for my audio people, right? But my YouTube people, my videos, you can see, did I stop my Dance to Heal podcast? My body's going, no. I'm trying to hold it up. It says no. Should I continue? Yes. Does it help people? Yes. So my body knows the answer. Even though sometimes in my mind, I'm worried about the view counts. I'm worried about not producing enough episodes. My body goes, you're right where you need to be, Jenny. And I thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. We've hit a milestone, folks. I'm so excited. All right. So the next portion, you're going to hear another section of that summit podcast um, speech I spoke at, which I felt was really, really important to share with the general audience. Okay. So we'll see you next week. Bye.
Do you do self-care? Like, do you even just take care of your face? Do you wash your face? Do you put lotion on it? Do you put sunblock on it? That is part of being in touch with your body. I live in Salt Lake City. My husband and I, remember, we're married 33 years, so we're kind of like a little bit bratty with each other occasionally. And I'd be like, are you hydrated? You're like, I'm hydrated. I'm like, you're not hydrated. Yeah, I'm hydrated. How much water did you drink today? I have 4 cups of water. Honey, we are in the high elevated desert of Salt Lake City. You need to drink double that. He takes a sip of water, so cute. And I was like, honey, let's muscle test. My husband resisted muscle testing for 4 years. Muscle testing is when you ask your body simple yes no questions. All right? And so we do muscle testing with like a finger. I'm going to show it to you in a second, but I just want to tell you the story first. So he wouldn't do the muscle testing, and so we fought about how much water he had, because it was, Jenny the wife telling him how much muscle, like water, he had to have in his body. And then he got into a very bad biking accident, really bad. He bikes a lot, and he broke 12 ribs flipping in his bike. Yeah, we're very lucky he didn't break his neck. He's now back to biking. He was a triathlete type of trainer. He used to do triathlons. And so he loved to train like that. Literally, like swimming 50 minutes in the pool, back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. Biking 30 miles. Running every morning, 4:15 get-ups, running in the dark. All right? And I'm like, you're insane. That's fine. You run. I will do my step class. I'll do my belly dancing. That's good for me. Do not drag me to the pool. I'll just cry. Or I'll film you, but I'm not getting in that pool. I digress. After the injury, we had to have him listen to his body. He missed working out. He had 12 broken ribs, folks. All down that right side of his, I'll mirror you, right side of his back. He flipped and landed on his back. So he had to relearn the language that his body spoke, not what his mind decided his body needed. So he started doing muscle testing. And guess what? Let me show you this muscle test and I'll tell you what happened. So, muscle testing. Everyone, this is, if you're right-handed, your right hand's going to come up. Okay? And then if you're left-handed, your left hand is going to come up. And you're going to make a strong fist. So I'm holding it. Don't worry, I'm wearing pants. Don't worry. They don't match my shirt, but I'm wearing pants. So your hand's going to come down to like your belly. Your shoulders are going to be really relaxed. But your hand's going to come across your belly just to here. So, because a lot of people do this and they start doing this weird thing with their wrist. So I want the arm really straight. And then you're going to take your other hand and come to that. Did I put lotion on? Okay, good. Into that big fat knuckle and gently push down on it. And it should be really strong. You should hard point your dominant side. Push down on it. And you should resist it. And it should be really strong, right? So now you're going to just test for your yes and your no. Meaning, I am Jenny C. Cohen. My body goes, yeah, you are. So test and go, I am, and say your name, and then push down that finger. Try it. I know, you're like, oh, what woo-woo thing's going to help me do? I promise, this will be helpful. right? And then everyone, because I don't think Penelope Cruz is in this room. No, she's not. So everyone say, I am Penelope Cruz. And then I'm going to hold that. I'm Penelope Cruz, and my finger will go, no, you're not, B-I-T-C-H. So that's my no, right? Yes, no. My eyes are brown. Even when I wear other color contacts, my eyes are still brown. My body says, yes, it is. What color are your eyes? Say, my eyes are, and then say that color, and then push down the finger. It should be strong. I've always wanted purple and green eyes, so my eyes are green. And my body goes, no, you're not. Even with contacts? No, you're not. Okay, fine. My eyes are brown. Yeah? So now I've established my yes and my no. You've established your yes and no? Some people, this doesn't work. You want to know why? Because you don't do it often. Your body doesn't trust you answering, so it doesn't really care. It's like, they don't listen to me. I'm not going to give them a strong yes and no. So they have another way to test, where you can make a ring with your finger. And in that little seam there, you put your other finger through, and you're going to pinch that together like you're pinching $1,000 bill. I've never seen one, but like a big bill. And you're holding on to it, and you try and pull through, and you do the same questions. I am Jenny C. Cohen. Yes. I'm Penelope Cruz. No, darn it. So you can pull through. That's the second test. There's a third way to test. All right? Because some people, neither one of those work because they're still learning to have their body trust them when the body gives the answer. I know. It's nuts. You'll stand up and you'll close your eyes and you'll say, my name is blank, and you'll notice which side you lean towards, forwards or back. And if you lean forward or back, that's your yes. And then you say, I'm Penelope Cruz. Unless you're Penelope Cruz, then you say another name. And then you'll notice they'll go in the opposite direction. That's your 3 ways to muscle test and start to get to know what your body needs from you.
Thanks for listening to Dance to Heal with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of recovery through movement and learn more ways that you can move your body. To work with me and continue your journey, visit OutsideInRecovery.com. Are you ready to move?